Hello, welcome back to JV2 Chat on YouTube. And welcome to everybody here. My name is Edson. I am the host of this little podcast series that I have going on. And I just appreciate if you're here, if you're watching the video. Thank you very much. We're just going to talk about the weekend of February 11th, 12th, and then yesterday's matches being Monday. And what happened, an overall recap, and we'll just see what we can talk about and come up with. But again, if you're here, more socials, Instagram and TikTok at JV2Chat. Please share them, give them a like or something. And again, more content there. But this is just weekly roundups that I like to do, talking about different things. If you want to leave a comment, share it, or like it, I'd really appreciate it. But you don't have to. Again, thank you, and we'll get on with the video. All right, hello. We're going to start off on Saturday, February 11th, in which we see Premier League matches start and come back. We do see the early kickoff, in which we saw, again, Chelsea against West Ham, which, again, first game that Felix is back for Chelsea, and just overall exciting as they have their abundance of players coming in. Enzo Fernandez starting, with Mudryk starting, with Felix starting, with Madueke starting, with Badiashile starting, and Reece James obviously coming back. Um, Very lackluster from them. More expected results, obviously, against the West Ham that is just not doing good at the moment. The game ends 1-1, in which we see Joao Felix score a brilliant goal. That Joao Felix-esque goal in the 60th minute, but again, connected by Enzo Fernandez. So we like to see that the two new boys connecting on that. They end up getting the goal in the 16th. However, Emerson, their old left back, scores a goal in the 28th minute. And after that, nothing more to say, as the game just runs dry. Substitutions to go on for, and nothing happens. Thomas Suchek did get a goal disallowed on the 83rd minute. And I think I saw something about an arm not being called in favor of Chelsea from Suchek in the penalty box in the later minutes of this match. That's how it happens. Obviously, sometimes VAR can just get things wrong, but on this one, that's how the game ends. It just ends 1-1 from what I see. Very lackluster from Chelsea. Very good from West Ham getting a point from teams above them, as they are in the relegation battle. But that's my thoughts on that match. And things need to change for both teams in order for them to survive and just do good. We see Arsenal against Brentford, which, again, Arsenal stellar form. They did lose last week against Everton, but this Brentford against them was just something that Arsenal played well, but there's a lot of things to say. Leandro Trossard obviously getting the goal in the 66th, which, again, Leandro Trossard is a very good player and very good addition to that squad. Scored on the 66th minute, assisted by Bukayo Saka, who, again, Bukayo Saka, obviously superstar for this team. Leandro Trossard, very, very good player, very good addition to the squad, and so scoring the goal. But lackluster as well, Arsenal just couldn't deal with how good Brentford are. Brentford are a very, very good side, and they've taken points from every top 6 club, which it's impressive. It's very impressive. The way that they play, the way that they set up against them, it's impressive. Ivan Toney scoring the goal in the 74th minute. And again, Ivan Toney, what can be said about him? Very, very good player, very amazing to watch, very good, clinical for this Brentford team, and just completely stellar and amazing. Did good, and just ended up getting the team a point. Both teams go with the point. Bad, very bad for Arsenal, as they now have to face against Manchester City, which we'll see what happens on that game. But that's how it happens. That's what happens. So, yeah, we move on from that. We then have Fulham against Nottingham Forest, which, again, Forest was starting to pick up form and starting to pick up in their games, at least with the last win that they had. But they ended up getting another loss on this one, which just obviously moves them away from the top half of the table and just put Fulham in 7th again. Just easy for him, easy go. Willian scoring the goal. Willian has been phenomenal for Fulham. It has been rolling back the years, but good from him. And then Manor Solomon scoring the goal in the 88th minute, assisted by, again, Andres Pereira, the creator of this team. Amazing from Fulham, amazing form, amazing how they set up. They know what they want to do, have a clear idea. unlike Nottingham Forest with the amount of players that they have, not knowing where to play them. But completely amazing from Fulham. They did well and they deserved the point, the 3 points, and they just move forward with that. We see Leicester against Tottenham. Very interesting game because obviously Tottenham getting the illusion that was going to be an easy come, easy go, but they scoring the goal in the 14th minute by Rodrigo Bentancur. Amazing, amazing season he's having and just amazing player. But ends up getting cut short as Napalis Mendy for Leicester scores an absolute screamer on Ben Foster. And just ends up tying the game 1-1 in the 23rd minute. James Madison getting the goal in the 25th straight after his, assisted by Iwanacho. Again, I want to say it was a 2-on-1 situation, but Iwanacho just decided to square it. Madison was easy right there in the box and just slotted the goal in. Kelly Iwanacho then getting his goal in the 45th plus additional time, assisted by Harry Sotar. I'm pretty sure it's the center back, the really tall center back they bought. But Iwanacho getting his goal. Very, very unfortunate for Rodrigo Bentancur. I don't know if it was his ACL or what happened. He tore something, and it's just very sad to see, as he's obviously a big player for Spurs, and it's a very big loss. Obviously, I don't like to hate on the player. I don't think anybody should whenever they get injured because it's truly, truly sad how long they can be out or if they can regain form after that. But that happened to him. Very sad to see that happen. But Pepe Matarzar just came in and still it didn't make a difference as multiple changes, multiple things happened, yellow cards here and there. But then Harvey Barnes, first on the 71st minute, his goal was denied, but then ends up scoring a goal in the 81st minute, which just sealed the game off into a 4-1. Again, poor Tottenham with, I want to say how the form was for Leicester. They've been in excellent form, coming from a draw, win, and then just getting a win on this one. Tottenham obviously getting the win against what do you call it? Sorry, I cannot think right now. Getting the win against Manchester City, but then losing this one, and just not good enough from Tottenham. I've talked giving some praise, but now it's time to just talk, not hating, but talking like they need to wake up. They have good players, they just need to realize it, and the style of play is just not there. Some games they have a clear idea of how they want to play and who they want to be. Other games they just don't and completely disappear like this one. Yes, they have some players that are out, but it's just that shouldn't be like a main factor or whatnot. That's what happens. They ended up just losing the game like that in a very bad form. We'll just see what happens in the coming games. We move into Wolves against Southampton, in which we see Wolves win 2-1 against Southampton, in which we have Southampton scoring the first goal with Carlos Alcaraz. I'm not sure where he's from, but I know that he's young and South American, scoring the goal in the 24th minute, and then Jan Bednarek scoring an own goal, which was obviously counted for Wolves in the 72nd minute, and then Joao Gomez, the young Brazilian midfielder that Wolves signed, scoring his goal in the 87th. Now, I don't know if this was his full debut, but he obviously got the goal in a very good way and just gave 3 very important points for Wolves as they now move into 15th, a little bit away from that relegation zone, but just a little bit in the clear as they are picking up that form from that Liverpool game. Southampton obviously losing that form that they had, but that's what happens on that game, and we just move from it. Crystal Palace against Brighton, very good Crystal Palace that gave a fight to Brighton as the game did end 1-1. We saw Solomon March again, March just doing good for this team and being a true leader and just stepping up, scoring a goal in the 63rd minute, assisted by Stupinian. But then very shortly after, in the 69th minute, James Tompkins scoring a goal in the 69th minute, like I said, which just ties the game 1-1. Substitutions after, a lot of yellow cards. One of Stupinian's goals gets disallowed in the 33rd, which, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that's where people said that the VAR got it wrong because his goal was not supposed to be disallowed, but it was, and it just happened. Obviously, very unfortunate, but um, it just ended up happening like that, and Brighton just go home with a point after playing the amazing football that we know that they can play. Crystal Palace, again, they've been going through the draws and they just ended up getting a loss the last game, but there's a very big draw for them as they are sitting 12th, a little bit below that half table, but we'll just see where this takes them. And yeah, I think it was a better result for them in terms of them or Brighton, but we move from that. We also have Bournemouth against Newcastle, in which we see Bournemouth tie 1-1 against Newcastle. Again, Newcastle have fallen a little bit out of form compared to how they were, but just because of the draws doesn't mean that they're losing the games. They're still sitting comfortably in fourth, and Bournemouth is just still there, trying to lurk their way in, away from that relegation zone, which now they're sitting in 19th. But Newcastle, I don't know how many chances they actually got. We did see Marco Senesi scored the goal, his first goal, I'm pretty sure, in the 30th minute, the center back from Argentina. And then we just see, obviously, Miguel Almiron getting back on the score sheet in the 45th plus, which I'm not sure the assist went to Anthony Gordon, but it was something like that that actually happened with him. A lot of substitutions, a lot of yellow cards towards the back end of the game, but it just ends up happening like that, and both teams just go home with a point. So that's deception for Newcastle, but not totally bad as they still didn't lose the game. Which then we move into the Serie A, which we have Spezia against Empoli 2-2, Roma against Lecce 1-1, in which again Paulo Dybala's just been in excellent form. He gets a penalty goal on this one, but poor Roma just couldn't beat the Lecce. But Paulo Dybala completely amazing, completely reformed, and just helping the team in any way he can, rescuing a point in this case. Atalanta against Lazio, interesting game. Um, as I'm pretty sure, yeah, Atlanta now moving into third with Lazio moving into sixth. Um, Atlanta was in bad form, losing two of their games. Lazio still not in the best form, but Atlanta obviously getting the last laugh as they do score two goals on them. David Zapacosta scoring in the 23rd, and then Rasmus Hujundud scoring in the 65th minute, assisted by Ademola Lookman, who again, I think these two have been really revolutionizing this Atlanta team, as obviously Muriel and um, I cannot remember the other guy's name, the striker. Just completely not showing any sort of any sort of revival from them. So Lukman, they've been looking at Lukman and Hojundut, who have been doing amazing. They have had a great season, and they're just contributing to this run on into third from Atalanta. Obviously, not saying they're going to be title contenders, but if they can get Champions League in a season that's been this crazy, especially in the Serie A league, it's just amazing for them. But they get a win, a deserved win, in my opinion, and we just move like that. We see SC Freiburg against Stuttgart, which again, this means a lot because SC Freiburg were in that top half, sitting in fourth now because of the win, with with Stuttgart falling to 17th. We move into Dortmund against Werder Bremen, which again, Dortmund have to take their chances and appreciate the falter that Bayern is having in terms of the league, at least getting a lot of ties, maybe some shock losses, but Dortmund full-fledged win this match again. Jamie Bjorn Gittens, obviously talent to be on the watch for, scoring the goal in the 67th minute, assisted by Nico Schlotterberg, obviously their young center back that they can hope to have for many, many years, getting the assist, and then Julian Brandt scoring in the 85th minute, assisted by Rafael Guerreiro, which again, Rafael Guerreiro has been on a pretty decent form for them as he's been getting a lot of assists and a lot of the numbers up. But that's what happened. Dortmund reigned victorious over Werder Bremen, and now they are just sitting third still with 40 points in hand. Werder Bremen obviously in the top half of the table, just sitting 27th, but very good result for Dortmund. They need these types of results if they want to challenge for that title. We'll move from that. Leverkusen winning 1-0, 3-1 against Hoffenheim, in which we see obviously La Chavineta Part 2, his team going to full throttle with Robert Andrich scoring in the 6th minute, Musa Diaby getting a goal in the 47th, assisted by Jeremy Frimpong, and then Adam Holsek scoring in the 56th again, assisted by Jeremy Frimpong. The way he has this team setup, Xavi is unique because again him being an expertise midfielder and very technical, very good, very gifted, knew where to go and knew how to play. He knows what he wants from his team, and you can just see it whether it happens or not. Sometimes you just have to be on the look for it. But he's obviously playing the 3-4-3, and then just utilizing Frimpong and Singravev as that left mid and right mid, just all up and down the pitch. While Diaby and Hosek drop a little bit into that cam and just move up forward for the attacks. But doing good, playing worse as a false nine, and yeah, we just moved. Very good win for them. As now, again, let me check the table. They're sitting 8, which again, top half of the table as they were coming from a couple losses. Amazing from them. Hoffenheim, just straight losses, but they're still not in the rut, which is good. And then we just move into a team that obviously has statements to prove. Bayern Munich, which again is not against the strongest opponent, VFL Bochum, but they do get the job done, in which it has to be done. They end up winning 3-0. Thomas Muller scoring in the 41st. Kingsley Coman getting a goal in the 64th, assisted by Jamal Musiala. And then Serge Gnabry getting a penalty goal in the 73rd. Which again, Bayern just get the job done. They're sitting in 43 points, just 3 points behind Dortmund. And Bochum just sitting in 15th. So very good for Bayern, as they do need to keep that gap separated if they do want to keep winning the Bundesliga, but that's how that happens. Mainz winning 3-1 against Augsburg, in which that puts them 12 and Augsburg 13. So it was actually an interesting match, but this separates them 5 points apart. So very good result for Mainz, and we see Lee Jae-sung scoring a goal in the 21st, Karim Onisiwo scoring a goal in the 24th, and then Lee Jae-sung getting his second in the 52nd minute. Just again, good from Mainz. Obviously, South Korea did amazing in the World Cup. I do think that's where he is from. I'm very sorry if I get that wrong, but just amazing. I'm not sure if he's young, but just a good player to keep on the lookout for the next World Cup, for the Asia Cup, anything like that. And yeah, Maine just get the job done. We move into very interesting game, and probably game of the match day in terms of Bundesliga, which we saw Union Berlin face against RB Leipzig. Again, Leipzig have the names, but Union Berlin are just doing wonders this season with them. Union Berlin moving into second, staying there with 42nd points, just 1 point behind Bayern Munich, and Leipzig faltering into fifth and down 36 points. Union Berlin, winning form, winning mentality, such a good team to watch, and it's inspiring what they're doing. Benjamin Hendricks getting a score in the 24th minute for them. Leipzig, assisted by Andrea Silva, but it wasn't enough as Union Berlin switch mentality. Janky Haberer getting a goal in the 61st, and Robin Notch getting a penalty goal in the 72nd, but just helping that team overcome a tough rival that they have to beat, which RB Leipzig, having the names, having the stars, having everything, but that's just how it happens, and they just ended up getting the win like that. But in terms of Bundesliga, that's it. We move into La Liga, in which we see a very good game to start off with. Almeria Real Betis. Almeria obviously having a stellar, amazing season, and Real Betis as well having a very good season in terms of what they have on hand. Obviously getting the win on this one, which they needed it because they're coming from two straight losses. And we see Rodri for them getting a goal in the 6th minute. Luis Suarez in the 27th for Almeria. Sergio Canales in the 42nd, assisted by Rodri. And for Real Betis, Samu Costa for Almeria. And then Andres Guardado in the 70th minute, assisted by Sergio Canales to seal off the game and seal off the win. Obviously, it was a little hard as Almeria can be a threat and can just cause pain. But they ended up getting the win how they deserve it, how they need it, and just helps them moving up into. Sorry, just checking. They're now sitting 5th. Almeria now sitting 15th. So Almeria have been on a little bit of a rut. 2 straight losses, but nothing to worry about, I want to say. As I think that they can stay up, but Obviously, Betis getting the better opportunity, better laugh as they are into that European competition, looking for it. We do see Sevilla triumphed against Mallorca, which obviously we saw last week. Mallorca against Real Madrid, in which Mallorca reigned, but Sevilla was able to get the better out of this team, in which we saw Yusuf El Neseri scoring in the 28th, and Brian Hill, the man from Tottenham, coming in and scoring in the 40th minute. A lot of substitutions, a lot of yellow cards, very heated match. Sevilla ended up getting the win, in which they very much need it. Now they're sitting in 12th because of recent wins that they've had, and just Mallorca still sitting in 10th, comfortable. It was a loss for Mallorca, but I don't think it's anything to worry about. Mallorca is a very good team with very, very nice spectators and watchers. And yeah, we just move in to see it, but that's how that game ends. Um, Nothing much to it. We move into Athletic Club against Valencia, which Athletic Club are victorious against them, in which we just see them win 2-1 against them. Game starts off with Valencia getting the first goal. Samu Castillejo assisted by Ilaix Moriba in the 17th, but then Nico Williams in the 30th minute scoring a goal assisted by Oscar de Marcos, and then again their starlit new up and coming striker Oyan Sanset scoring a goal in the 72nd minute assisted by the other brother Iñaki Williams. Again, I feel like they have such a fluid, nice team, Athletic Bilbao, and it's just good to see them. They're sitting 7th now, comfortable. Hopefully they can get at least Conference League. I think that would be very exciting to see considering their manager and the type of player, homegrown players that they have. But that's how that game ends. Valencia now staying in the relegation, taking Sevilla's place down there with 18 points. But that's how that game ends. That's how La Liga ends for Saturday. And then moving on into FIFA World Cup, we saw the match for third place in which we saw Flamengo against Al Ahly. Flamengo, obviously, I don't want to say they had a bad tournament, but in terms of what they were, they are not what they were. But still, they ended up getting the win. Third team in the competition is not bad. And yeah, they ended up just getting the win, in which we see Gabriel Barbosa and Gabiol scoring in the 11th minute. In the 38th, we see Al Khalil score, and then they missed the penalty in the 58th, and then they scored again in the 60th minute, but then they got a red card in the 69th, in which then we see the full-fledged effect taking cover for Flamengo. Pedro, again, the goal scorer on the last match, getting a goal in the 70th minute. Gabigol scoring again in the 85th minute via penalty, and Pedro getting another goal to seal off completely the win in the 90th plus minute. A lot of yellow cards towards that back end. Maybe something happened because both teams got yellows. But that's how it happens. Flamengo, I didn't keep up that much with that game in particular as terms of as I would have liked to. But that's how it ends, and we just see Flamengo being the third best team in there. Whether they deserve it or not, that's how it happens. But yeah, a very good competition so far until that point without counting the final. But that is how that happened, and that is how we see it. We also see the Ligue 1, in which we see Marseille win 2-0 against Clermont, which again, I already gave praise to Marseille in the last video. If you want to check it out, please do so. But Marseille, amazing. The fluidity of that team is very, very good. The other team gets a goal disallowed in the 23rd, but then Alexis Sanchez coming in back again, scoring a penalty in the 44th for Marseille, and then we see Alexis Sanchez again in the 81st minute, scoring a goal to just seal off Marseille's win, and just seal off what an amazing season he is having. Obviously not amazing in terms of what he did back then, but in terms of reviving his career, that's amazing. We do see that end there. And then we also see Monaco against PSG, in which Monaco completely dominate PSG 3-1. The game ends. Again, I already gave criticism to PSG not having the correct setups or lining up correctly, but it's just weird because Neymar was the only one on this match, and I think they could have done it a bit different because Neymar's an identity player that they can use. However, they still go for that 3-5-2 formation, in which we just see Saide, the young center mid for them, start. Vitinha, Soler, Bernat, and Pemba on that midfield, and then Neymar and Ekitike in the striker force. Which again, just a lot of things can be said about this match as well. But Neymar, I did see Neymar, whether it's true or not, I'm not sure. But Neymar giving criticism to Vitinha about his poor performance. But Neymar wasn't that great either. And PSG was just not that great to begin with. Lose this match, and Monaco just reigned victorious over them, in which we just see Alexander Golovin scoring a goal in the 4th minute, assisted by Wissam Ben Yedder. Wissam Ben Yedder scoring a goal in the 18th minute, assisted by Crepin Diata. Warren Zaire Emery, that youngster for PSG, scoring a goal in the 39th, assisted by Juan Bernat. And then in the 45 plus 2, Wissam Ben Yedder scoring a goal again. Which again, Wissam Ben Yedder has been excellent for them. I don't remember what stat I saw, but I did see a stat that was just completely praising him and being, I don't know if they're third top goal scorer or something like that, but Wissam Ben Yedder coming in from Sevilla, amazing, amazing. And just putting up numbers, putting up stats, and getting big results like this against them. I want to see where how the table's looking for them. PSG having that second straight loss, not good. PSG still sitting with 54 points, but now Monaco creeping in with 47 and in third. So we'll see what happens with that. That's how that game ends. PSV winning against Groningen 6-0, in which we see, or at least that's what I saw, Xavi Simons scoring a wonder goal, an amazing goal, rocket of a goal, and just did amazing. Luke de Jong scoring in the 27th minute as well, assisted by Xavi Simons. And then Xavi Simons getting a goal in the 46th. Jared Braithwaite again scoring a goal in the 69th. Johan Bakayoko in the 73rd. Fabio Silva in the 84th. And Gus Still in the 88th. Just completely sealing off that match with them. That's how that game ends. We then see Liga MX America winning 2-1 against Necaxa. FC Juarez winning 3-1 against Santos. And Tigres completely obliterating Pumas 4-2. And then Chivas and Pachuca getting the best out of each other with a 1-1. And obviously the final game that I want to talk about for this day being the FIFA World Cup final, in which we see Real Madrid against Al Hilal face off against each other. Interesting match, obviously, because Al Hilal, I feel like they've been the best team in this tournament regarding Real Madrid and what they've done. But Al Hilal have been a good team. They've known how to suffer, they know how to come back, and it's just good for them. Again, amazing result, and we'll just move with that. But Real Madrid just coming off straight in the back and just winning another FIFA World Cup. The team with the most FIFA World Cups in history. I think now they're sitting on 5, if not on 6 with this one. I'm not sure. But they get a 5-3 win against Al Hilal, in which we saw again Vinicius Jr. scoring the 13th minute connecting with Karim Benzema. Federico Valverde again getting back on the scoring form in the 18th minute. And then we saw Al Hilal's goal, Musa Marega, in the 26th minute, getting the goal, which now just makes the match 2-1. But then Real Madrid shutting it off, not quick, but they did shut it off later on, with Karim Benzema scoring a goal in the 54th minute, assisted by Vinicius Jr., returning the favor, and then Federico Valverde scoring the 58th straight after, assisted by Dani Carvajal. A couple substitutions for them, and then Luciano Vieto getting his goal in the 63rd from Al Hilal, and Vinicius Jr. just again sealing off that 5-2 there, assisted by Dani Ceballos, who again, Dani Ceballos has been amazing. Vinicius Jr. has been amazing. That got Vinicius Jr. the two goals and assist, and that sealed off the game for Real Madrid. But Al Hilal were still not done. Couple substitutions, and then Luciano Vieto scoring a goal again in the 79th minute. I don't know if he got player of the tournament or player of the match, but he did end up getting something, and just very good from him, and very good for Al Hilal. They do have some hope. But Real Madrid again getting back in winning ways, winning a big trophy, and just overall we can just continue to see this from both teams. But Real Madrid obviously the victorious ones in this match, and we'll just see what keeps happening with them. But they ended up just winning this game like that. Again, that was the match's first Saturday, but then we move into Sunday. Sunday, obviously, we see Serie A starting up first, in which we see Unides against Sassuolo. Both teams coming up in good form, I want to believe. Um, a little bit, as Sassuolo did receive a loss in their last game, but both teams had something to say, in which a game that just ended 2-2. Sassuolo obviously is the team with best form coming in, as they were in the relegation zone, but now they're sitting 15th, a little bit above, in which they have some hope. But Unides is sitting in 8th, which again their season has been great, but just from those two, 6 points only separating them. So whichever team would have ruled would have been a little closer. We saw this in Udogi, the I'm not sure which wing he plays in, but obviously the player from Tottenham now that's with them, but loaned here obviously, scoring a goal in the first minute, but then Matheus Enrique for Sassuolo scoring in the 8th, and then Jaka Bijol scoring in the 28th, but then Nahuene Perez scoring an own goal and just sealing off Sassuolo's second goal, which just resulted in the tie. That's how the game ends on that. We then see Monza winning 1-0 against Bologna, Juventus winning 1-0 against Fiorentina, in which we saw Adrian Rabiot get the goal assisted by Di Maria and Duhan Vlahovic get a goal disallowed in the 60th minute. But they ruled victorious and they just won. We then move into yours truly, one of the best teams to watch this season, Napoli, winning, getting their revenge, obviously in the league, not much in the cup in which they could have progressed, but in the league against Cremonese, in which we just see 3-0, complete domination from Napoli, and just complete statement. Complete domination from Napoli, like I said, but Kvaradona getting his goal in the 21st minute, and then Victor Osimhen, again, another player that's just good to watch in this team, getting his goal in the 65th, assisted by Kim Min-jae, and Eljif Elmas getting his goal in the 79th minute, assisted by Giovanni Di Lorenzo. Just completely sealed off the win. Every player did what they had to. And Napoli, again, just exciting, young, thrilling team to watch with that desire to just win and win and win. Amazing from them. They deserve the win. They got the win. And we just move with that. Ligue 1, again, we move. Toulouse getting another 3-1 win against Reims. And Reims getting something back into them as they score 4 against Troyes, in which we see, I want to see if Balogan was the one that scores, but Marshall Munetsi getting a goal, Miasane Miolida getting a goal, and Balogan did score, which again, just another option for Arsenal, but a very amazing player to keep up with this season and just to watch for this team as he's getting the goals. And then Jens Kajuste assisted by Jaunja Ito, who again, Ito just amazing player as well. But again, just with their manager, they're doing amazing. They get a big win, and we'll just see what this has done for them. I want to see where they're sitting in the table, as they're now 10th, sitting top half of the table, which is obviously good for them with 33 points. So, obviously, good. Very, very good. We'll see where this takes them. Hopefully, if they can just finish a little bit above, they can make back some revenue from the matches that the manager is costing them. That's how the game ends. Montpellier winning 3-0 against Brest. Lille winning 2-0 against Strasbourg. Nantes winning 1-0 against Lorient. And Olympique Lyons getting a big win against Lens. 2-1. Which, again, Olympique Lyon, Alexandre Lacazette getting his goals back over here in the French league. Ryan Cherki assisting the goal and then scoring his own in the 64th. But before that, we do see Lens scoring in Diver Machado. But again, Lens have falling a little bit from that horseback race, but they're not completely yet written off, as I do think that they can still get hopefully Champions League, but Europe would be sufficient enough, I think. But again, they're doing good. Lyon obviously needing a win as well, in which they got. They're sitting 9th with 35 points, and still 11 points separating them, which is still pretty big. But they got the win on this game, and again, very, very good from them. We move into La Liga matches, in which we see Getafe against Rayo Vallecano. Very good game to watch. Rayo Vallecano obviously in amazing form, as they were sitting, I think they got the 5th, but now because of the loss, they're sitting 6th. Getafe obviously not doing so hot, as they're sitting 19th. But they get a point, a very, very big point for them. But we still see just Rayo Vallecano that went up with an goal, but then and Enes Unal in the 70th minute has to come and rescue. Before that, though, they did miss a pen and they did get a red card in Getafe. But again, Rayo Vallecano's been a good team to keep up with. But obviously, this match goes more in favor of Getafe and what they needed. But that's how the game ends. We see Atletico Madrid winning 1-0 against Celta Vigo, in which we do see Memphis Depay getting his first goal for them in the 89th minute. So very much rescuing those 3 points for them, which is good to see. I'm glad that he's playing. I'm glad that he's getting goals. That's how that game ends. Osasuna Real Valladolid 0-0, and then Barcelona against Villarreal ending 1-0, in which again Pedri, the amazing tiki-taka play that was connected into that goal was just very, very nice. Pedri again to Lewandowski, back to and then back to him, and Pedri just slots in a very, very nice goal. I do believe that this game could have gone different ways, but obviously it went in the favor of Barcelona, which is good. It's good because again, Pedri, I don't even care, best midfielder in the world in my opinion. He just needed to add goals to his game because the eye test is there, the ball movement, the ball rotation, the ball gathering back the ball with Gavi is just elite. And him adding goals to his game is just making people notice he's levels above. And I just think he needs to stop being treated as, yeah, he's probably the best youngster in the world. No, he's probably one of, if not the best midfielder, one of the best midfielders in the world, and he's in form. We need him. He's very, very big. I'm excited to see what Barcelona's going to offer for that Manchester United game. But that is how that game ends. They obviously get the win. 1-0, however it may be. That is because of our backline as well. Ronald Araujo, again, same thing can be said about him. Best center back in the world. He's the best. I don't care if it's like an argument or whatever. What he is doing for this team is not going unnoticed, at least in terms of Barca fans. We've just conceded 7 goals in like, what was it? I can't remember, like 20 games, 21 games. It's crazy to me. I know that it's just league talk and whatever, but it's crazy, and it has to not go unnoticed. Hopefully, we can just finish the season off like that. But he's just amazing, Ronald Araujo, and I'm very glad that he's on our side of the field. But yeah, that's how the game ends for us. We get a very big win, stretching our lead to 11 points. Um, so yeah, that's how that game ends, and we move like that. We do see Manchester United come back and go against Leeds, in which again they had ended up playing them and tying 2-2. But now we see Manchester United victorious, in which we see Marcus Rashford yet again getting his goal, and Luke Shaw, who's been very informed, probably one of the most informed left backs, if not one of the better ones, getting his goal in the 80th minute. And then Garnacho, again, youngster, thriving, hungry, skillful winger, getting his goal in the 85th, assisted by Weghorst, who again, against Leeds is not always easy, but with the new manager, you never know how it may go. But Manchester United do get their win and do just triumph against Leeds, which they had tied in terms of a loss last game. But that is how that game ends, in which we see again Manchester United go up against Aston Villa, in which we just see Manchester United go up and just do what they do best and just overall dominate and win. Rodri getting a goal in the 4th minute, Ilkay Gundogan getting a goal in the 39th, assisted by Erling Haaland, and Riyad Mahrez getting his penalty goal in the 45th +1. Just a very, very good Manchester City team, and just poor Aston Villa. But then again, Manchester City just had that hunger because Arsenal dropped points, in which now we see them into 48 points, second of the table, and Aston Villa still with their second loss in a row, but still just sitting 11th, which is good for them. But we'll see what happens if they turn over or not. But again, good games in which we now see them just 3 points behind. So tomorrow's game is going to be spicy, but that is how that happens. We do obviously see. Sorry, I'm looking at what I wanted to watch, but that's just it. We'll talk about it a little bit. Yeah, the other stuff here in a little bit. Hertha against Mönchengladbach 4-1. Frankfurt losing against Cologne 3-0, which Frankfurt were in an amazing form, but they ended up just faulting and losing this game 3-0, which obviously not like them, obviously not good, but some games like this happen in which lacking concentration, think the opponent is too easy, but they come and bite you in the back, which is what happened in this case. Ajax winning 3-1, and then Cruz Azul, which I hope that they would get a result, but losing 3-1 against Toluca. Not a lot can be said. Not the best team at the moment, not the best team have been in a while, but we did get a league, so hold that. Anyways, we move from that and we move to the games yesterday. Monday the 13th, in which we see Hellas Verona winning 1-0 against Salertina, and then Inter drop points against Sampdoria 0-0. We move from that, but those were the games. Not much to talk about. Espanyol against Real Sociedad, which was a good game, 3-2. And then we saw Takefusa Kubo scoring in the 22nd minute, Sorlot scoring in the 51st, calling the game already done by then in the 63rd, which it was an own goal by one of the Espanyol players. Again, Espanyol sitting in 17th and Real Sociedad in 3rd. So very, very good and very thrilling, I guess you could say. But it was already 3-0 by the 63rd minute. So obviously make your subs and just calm down a little. However, Espanyol did have something to say about it. In the 74th minute, Sergi Darder scoring his goal. And in the 87th, Brian Olivian scoring another one, which did give them a scare. However, they do end up getting a red card in the 90 plus 4. And Real Sociedad as well getting a yellow card in the 90 plus 7. That's how that game ends. But again, thrilling game to watch if you're into the La Liga games like that. That's how it happens for them. And then we see Liverpool get their win against Everton. Again, the Merseyside Derby, always interesting to watch and keep up with. But we saw Cody Gakpo in the 49th minute scoring his first goal, which is what I wanted to highlight that more than the Salah goal. But Cody Gakpo scoring his first goal, obviously easy come, easy serve, Pickford. I can't remember which goal it was, but he was nowhere to be seen. But Cody Gakpo just ended up scoring his goal. Very good for him. But that's what happened. Salah getting his goal in the 36th, assisted by Darwin Nunez. Again, Darwin Nunez just speed run through that whole field and just fed the ball to Mohamed Salah, which ended up getting his goal. But again, very good win as they needed this win, Liverpool. Everton already with the new manager, but it just couldn't work for them. They're sitting 18th still in the relegation, but it's all good. Liverpool now moving into 9th with 32 points to look forward to, but that is how the game ends on this. A lot of things can be said. The only thing I'm going to say, which again, no hate to anybody or anything like that, no meanings of offending, but Liverpool fans, the amount of stuff that I've been seeing about them saying the season starts now, we're the best team, we're gonna get top 4. This is the first game that they full-fledged we won well in a while. Not a lot can be said. I'm pretty sure this is their first win in 2023 or something like that. I can't remember what stat I saw, but calm down. Let's just see what happens the rest of the season, because you still got some big teams to face. And anyway, that is all that I have for at least this weekend, as I did already do the other video for the weekdays. But again, if you enjoyed the video, thank you very much. If you would share this, I'd really appreciate it. If you just give it a thumbs up or just continued watching until the end. I know it's a little longer video, but I did have a lot to talk about, it seems like. And just thank you for being here. Thank you for everything. Socials at JV2Chat. Hopefully you know where to look for it for more content. But as for now, thank you for watching and have a good one. See ya.